The door to the windowless briefing room clicks shut behind you at 2:47 a.m. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead. Two senior agents sit across the scarred table. One slides a single manila folder toward you. Inside is a photograph of a man you arrested 6 months ago, now dead in federal custody. Sign, the older one says, or walk out right now. Your pen hovers, the ink touches paper. Level 1, the new agent. You are 28, fresh out of the academy at Quantico, and already drowning. The first field office in Chicago feels like a concrete tomb. They assign you wiretap duty on low-level drug crews. 12-hour shifts in a van that smells of stale coffee and sweat. You listen to men joke about killing witnesses while you eat cold takeout. Your training says report everything. Your training says justice is absolute. But your partner, a 10-year veteran named Ruiz, laughs when you flag a conversation about a missing informant. Kid, some loose ends tie themselves. He teaches you the first real rule. Paper only what can't bite you back. You type the report anyway. 2 days later your supervisor calls you in. The case against the crew collapses because key evidence disappeared. Your name is on the chain of custody. Ruiz claps your shoulder in the hallway. Welcome to the bureau. At night you stare at the ceiling of your shitty apartment. The gun safe beside your bed stays locked. You tell yourself this is temporary. You are here to do good. The system works. You just need to climb high enough to fix it from inside. Level 2, the field operator. 16 months later they give you your first real undercover assignment. You become Mike Torres, a mid-level money guy for a crew moving cash out of Miami. The bureau provides the legend, the cash, the burner phones. What they don't provide is how easily the mask fits. You sit in strip clubs at 1 a.m. handing out $100 bills like candy. You learn the names of girlfriends, kids, favorite sports teams. One night the crew leader, a thick man named Diego, hands you a duffel containing $180,000 in mixed bills. Count it in front of me. Your hands move through the stacks without shaking. You already know the bureau wants this money traced, not seized, not yet. You deliver the duffel to your handler in a Walmart parking lot at dawn. He doesn't look you in the eye. Good work. Keep going deeper. The first moral compromise arrives quietly. Diego asks you to move $40,000 for his cousin's bail. You could refuse. Instead you make the call. The money flows. A woman you never meet stays out of jail. Diego trusts you more. Your handler praises the flexibility. You start sleeping with the lights on. Every shadow in your peripheral vision feels like surveillance. You catch yourself thinking in the crew's slang even when alone. The bureau pays you $68,000 a year. Diego's crew throws around more in a good weekend. The gap bothers you less each month. Level 3, the trusted participant. They pull you out after 14 months. Your debrief lasts 9 hours. They promote you to GS-12 and send you to the New York field office. Now you run your own small team on white-collar cases, bank fraud, insider trading. The targets wear suits and speak in boardrooms. The corruption is cleaner, harder to smell. One afternoon your supervisor drops a file on your desk. This one doesn't go to prosecution. National security letter. Eyes only. The target is a hedge fund manager feeding information to a foreign embassy. You watch him for 3 weeks. You build the case that should end his career. Then the order comes down from Washington. Terminate surveillance. The manager walks. 2 weeks later a different fund loses $214 million in a freak market event. Your team's analyst shows you the trading patterns. Same signatures. You say nothing. You sign the report that calls it inconclusive. That night you drink whiskey alone in a hotel bar near the office and realize the system doesn't just tolerate corruption. Sometimes it directs it. Your loyalty is no longer to abstract justice. It is to the people who sign your evaluations, to the ones who can bury you. Level 4, the skilled operator. They move you to Washington, D.C. headquarters. Supervisory Special Agent. Your first real title with teeth. You now oversee a squad that handles high-value human sources inside criminal organizations. You learn the real currency, leverage, not arrests, not convictions, information that can be traded upward. One of your sources, a mid-level capo in a major family, wants his brother moved to a softer prison. You make the call to the Bureau of Prisons contact. In return the capo delivers the location of a major shipment. Your career metrics look excellent. The psychological shift is subtle. You stop thinking about right and wrong. You think in outcomes. Acceptable losses, deniability. Your marriage ends during this period. She says you've become someone who listens but never hears. You nod, sign the papers, and go back to the office. There is always another source, another file, another late-night meeting where powerful men speak in half-sentences and expect you to fill in the blanks. Level 5, the respected insider, assistant special agent in charge, Chicago field office again, this time running intelligence operations. You have a corner office with a view of the river. A staff car, a security detail when necessary. People call you sir without irony. The cases are larger, cartels, cyber intrusions traced to nation-states. You sit in rooms where decisions are made about whether to prosecute or flip a target into a long-term asset. Flipping almost always wins. The data is too valuable. One evening a senior Justice Department lawyer visits. Over-expensive Scotchy explains the new reality. Certain politicians are off-limits. Certain banks are too big to touch. We're not the police, he says. We're the guardrails. You nod. You have learned to nod. Inside, something hardens. You catch yourself justifying everything. The system is imperfect, but chaos is worse. Someone has to make the hard calls. That someone is now you. Your personal life is a series of short relationships with women who don't ask questions. You own a house in the suburbs you rarely see before midnight. The gun safe is larger now. The combination is your daughter's birthday, the one weekend a month you still manage to see her. Level 6, the authority figure, special agent in charge, Los Angeles. You command 200 agents and a budget that runs into 9 figures. Press conferences, congressional briefings. You shake hands with mayors and studio executives. Power feels different at this level. It is quieter. A single phone call from your desk can freeze an investigation or accelerate one. You learn the pleasure of watching subordinates scramble to please you. You also learn the fear when they fail. A major terrorism case lands on your desk. The suspect is connected to a domestic network with ties to a sitting senator's staff. You brief the director personally. The message is clear. Contain it. Do not let it spread. You bury parts of the file. You reassign agents who ask too many questions. One young woman threatens to go to the inspector general. 2 weeks later she is transferred to a resident agency in Montana. Paperwork says it was voluntary. You stand on the balcony of your government-leased house in the Hollywood Hills at 3 a.m. and smoke a cigar that costs more than your first month's academy pay. The city glitters below like scattered jewels. You feel nothing, not triumph, not guilt. Just the low hum of the machine that now runs through your veins. Level 7, the strategic power broker. Executive Assistant Director, National Security Branch, Headquarters. You no longer chase cases. You shape the entire bureau's priorities. You sit across from the Attorney General. You brief the President. The briefings are theater. Everyone understands the real conversation happens afterward, in smaller rooms, without minutes. Favors are traded. Careers are ended with a quiet word. Information is the ultimate leverage. You hoard it like a dragon. Your closest allies are no longer agents. They are political appointees, corporate general counsels, and foreign intelligence liaisons. Loyalty is measured in what you can deliver when asked. One night the director himself calls you at home. A story is about to break involving enhanced interrogation techniques used on a high-value detainee years ago. Names are attached. Yours is not on the list, but you approved the program. Handle it, he says. You spend the next 72 hours ensuring the right documents are reclassified, the right witnesses are reminded of their pensions, and the right narrative is fed to friendly journalists. The story dies. You look at your reflection in the dark window of your office on the 7th floor. The man staring back has your face but none of your original expressions. The kid who once believed in the oath is gone. In his place sits someone who understands that the Bureau is not a law enforcement agency. It is a system for managing threats external and internal. Level 8, the Untouchable Architect. Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The confirmation hearings were brutal but survivable. You knew where every skeleton was buried because you buried most of them. Now the 7th floor is yours, the motorcade. The detail that follows you even to the bathroom. The private secure line that rings at any hour. Power here is almost total and almost meaningless. You can destroy lives with a signature. You can protect empires with silence. But you cannot leave the building without a plan. You cannot speak without calculating 3 moves ahead. You cannot trust a single person in any room you enter. The nights are the worst. You sit alone in the study of the director's residence and read old case files from your first years. The handwriting in the margins is yours, eager, idealistic, certain. You barely recognize it. Sometimes you drive past the academy at Quantico in the back of an armored SUV. New classes march in perfect formation. Young faces full of purpose. You watch them through tinted glass and feel something close to envy. They still believe the myth. You know the truth. The Bureau is a closed ecosystem. It consumes ambition and produces control. It rewards those who learn to love the cage. Somewhere across the country, in a different field office, a new agent sits in a windowless room at 2:47 a.m. A senior agent slides a folder across the table. Inside is a photograph and a choice. The new agent's hand shakes slightly as the pen touches paper. He thinks he understands the rules. He doesn't, but he will. You close the briefing book on your desk. The seal of the FBI stares back at you, gold on dark blue. You press the intercom, send in the next candidate.